Method Black will be going with that Rogue Mage Paladin. And it's like I said, this patch seems really good for Method Black. They're a phenomenal Rogue Mage, and Rogue Mage right now, it seems phenomenally strong.
All right, well, comps are live. We can see them here pretty shortly. Coffin Dance, Method Black facing off against each other in this lower bracket series. Again, you guys watching from home, loser of this series knocked out of the tournament. Winner gets another chance to hopefully find themselves back in that grand finals position. It is game one of Coffin Dance versus Method Black.
Yeah, I think we should keep our eyes open for that opener. The Gladiator Spites, if they are equipped on Method Black, could provide a deadly opener. And I think the main targets is going to be Lontar when he doesn't have a trinket on that blind, and then potentially Rezus as that second target.
Oh, Tren jumping into the fight immediately, leading the charge, wanting to make sure that a sap won't be found, trying to deny sap spite as an option. Waz is going after Lontar. Double blinding light by Chaz. A very interesting, potentially all-in attempt by the side of Method Black to chase down the Shaman. Hammer of Justice connects, but Lontar survives, retreating around the corner and beginning to recover from the attack of Method Black. They committed quite a lot to that and didn't find too much, honestly, from Coffin Dance. I will say Coffin Dance took the better of that exchange. They swap over to Rezus, drop the smoke bomb. Lontar anticipates smoke bomb and was already moving towards Rezus. Walks into a blind. They're going to Karma at high health. This way, if it's bopped off, it's not nearly as devastating, and you're not really inclined to use a bop on a Karma at that high health, but they do cut through it. Double Ring of Frost. They could swap to Lontar at the end of the Polymorph. Curious to see if they decide to go for a swap. Polymorphs are over. They're staying on Rezus. They kidney shot Lontar. They're still going after Rezus, though. He's going to diffuse magic during that kidney shot. Fist of Fury, Turbo Fist, Waz's damage away. Coffin Dance recover, but Rezus is going to need to be careful. His cooldowns are very limited at the moment.
Definitely, and here's the offensive push with the touch of death onto Raikou. How is he going to respond? Temporal Shield at the end of that as Raikou blinks away from the Ride the Wind. Now a kidney shot onto Rezus, blinding light onto Lontar. This is absolutely horrifying for Rezus. Maledict shot in. This is so much trouble. There's a sap. Rezus could just outright die. Lontar, what is he going to do? If he trinkets out, he's going to get caught in crowd control. Lontar gets the trinket link. Beautifully done. Sap on the trinket, but he was fast enough. Lightning fast reflexes there by Lontar. Keeps Rezus alive.
Oh my, but they're just so far behind and the damage just won't stop. Rezus at half health. Avenging Wrath is rolling for Chaz. He's got big heals. They're not finding any openings. They're trying to. Trend hammering down on Raikou, but everyone on Method Black has recovered. They're taking a moment, waiting for the kidney shot, trying to pick their target. Lontar could definitely be one. They could swap to Trend. There's an option here, and it's very difficult for Coffin Dance to anticipate the next attack. Rezus is likely to be it as they commit the Breath of Dying. Go for the kidney shot. Dragon's Breath. Beautiful chain here. Do they get the Polymorph? They do. They have Karma, but they can bop it off. Rezus is in trouble. They Karma. They bop it off. They're going all in. Gladiator's Maledict rolling on Rezus, soaking up any additional healing. He's just getting absolutely destroyed. Beautiful play by Method Black. Excellent isolation, and yeah, those changes are going to be benefiting Method Black's Rogue Mage a lot. It's nice to see them back in form.
1-0 for Method Black. Super quick game. Just tremendous pressure on the Coffin Dance Zico, and they just could not stay alive very long at all, really.
Yeah, I mean, there was so many big plays that game, and it's these clean setups. They get the blinding light with that kidney shot. They get the saps that forces out the trinkets, and then they find that next setup. They don't bop the first Karma. They save it for the second one. And it's just a 100% clean game from Method Black.
Now it's Coffin Dance. Map choice here. Method Black probably, what do we think here, Supatees? I mean, there's not really any point of them switching off of a composition. But what do you think? Can Coffin Dance maybe pick some sort of map that would maybe put a little bit of pressure on them?
I feel like Dalaran would be a good map. I'm not sold on the Windwalker. I do agree with Ven at the start of the series. I think the Warrior, but maybe they were worried about a Frost MLD. Or not MLD, but Mage Lock in general, so they didn't want to go with the Warrior. They also had Ride the Wind, so they were really expecting Spite. Warrior has Warbanner to deal with Spite. It's okay. I mean, Blizzo made Warrior work for Spite all of those games before too, so I feel like it's time to tag Joe in and try the Warrior Demon Hunter.
All right, well, we saw Method Black down Coffin Dance pretty quickly in that first game. Zico, what replay did you have for us?
Well, it's that second goal. I feel like that's the one that really opens up the game. It's such a nice setup, and Waz really showcasing why he's so good at that rogue. Really making a case in the Pika versus Waz debate here as well. You can kind of see it. Chaz going in for the blinding light onto Lontar. There's a kidney onto Rezus. Waz doing a bit of damage. Then he shadow steps to his healer Chaz. Shadow melts. Waits for Lontar to drop combat. Saps him, and then he just stays on top of him, spamming a resap on his trinket. And Lontar knows, which is why he's not trinketing. He's waiting until Rezus comes to him, and then he trinkets and links at the same time, probably with a macro, because most Dramas would get sapped on their trinket and just lose the game there. But even if they don't lose the game there, this go here forces pretty much everything that they need to set up that next go. And the next go, they ended the game with which trinket debuff on Rezus. That's right, Maledict. Just saying.
Well, you're right again, Zico. But Method Black really showing what they do best. Those tremendously well coordinated attacks for that team. Method Black always so on sync with each other. Again, they're one of those teams that have been playing together for so long at such a high level. They are always in that top spot, and I wouldn't expect anything less from these guys. But Coffin Dance looking to put on some pressure for Method Black here, locking in Black Rook hold. We talked about before this last break here, Supati, is maybe if they put on Joe Fernandez. Do you think that's an option that we'll see, or are they going to try that comp again, do you think?
If they run Warrior, I feel like Method Black will run Spite. But at the same time, I don't know, Maledict looked better than Spite. I don't think they have to, and then they don't have to deal with the counters that are normally there for Spite in general. It seems like Maledict is a lot more straightforward option for Method Black overall. I think it's time to give Joe his shot. That was the comp that got them success throughout the previous cups. Of course, having Rezus there as an option is great, but right now I think the Warrior would be a little bit more sturdy in this specific matchup. It might still be a bad matchup though, honestly, at the end of the day, but I think it would be better for them to give Joe a shot before they can't. And Black Rook Hold would be a good map, but it's also a good map actually for the Monk to be able to survive, so I don't know. They've only got a minute and a couple seconds here to lock, but I would like to see Joe.
All right, not much time left for Coffin Dance to choose their comp. If they decide to bring out Joe Fernandez, Ven, how can they look to sort of shut down that setup coming from Method Black?
Well, it's not going to be easy. I mean, Method Black, they're doing very clean setups in this matchup, and as a response, for Coffin Dance, it felt like in that last game there wasn't too much that they could really do, but the good thing about the Warrior is you're not going to be as nearly as easy a target as Rezus on that Windwalker Monk. Having defensive stance as well as heavy versatility. Theoretically, you should be able to survive as well, having the War Banner, the commanding shout, like just those little things to keep yourself alive. But I feel like no matter what Coffin Dance locks in, Method Black playing Rogue Mage Paladin it's a decent matchup for Method Black. Like, I think Method Black is just going to be locking this in. Doesn't matter what map it is. They can go with the Spike trinkets. They can go with the Maledict trinkets. And, there's a bit of a mind game. Rezus, he's committing playing Ride the Wind if they run Spite. And if they don't run Spite, then he's basically wasting an Honor talent. And that's something Supati's kind of touched on at the beginning of today is now with the way you can gear, you can basically, if someone runs a Spite, you have to try to at least run some sort of answer. But if they're not running the Spite trinket, you're just wasting a lot of your setup, a lot of your talents, a lot of your gear, giving up offense, giving up defense, and it's a really difficult spot to be in as Coffin Dance for Method Black. They have the luxury of just always having that as an answer. We saw it earlier today when they played their series against Ratapai's Rogue Mage Priest. They just didn't use Spite, just Maledicts, consistent damage on the mage, and then in the last game they went all in with that Spite trinket, and that's what you really have to look out for, because if you're not prepared for the Spite and they have it, you're just going to lose the game, and I think that's what makes this so difficult for Coffin Dance.
And if you guys want to see the gear that Ven was just mentioning, if you want to see what these players are running for their build, you can go to awc.jcd.tv, or you can look at the description down below this video. You can check out what these players are running. They are in a tournament realm setting, so they can basically have a smorgasbord. Smorgasbord? Did I say it right?
Smorgasbord.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have you say it next time. But just any
Gotcha.
choice of gear that these guys want. So it's super exciting to see what these guys are deciding to run here. This is game number 2 of Coffin Dance versus Method Black. Method Black up 1-0. We will see if Coffin Dance can maybe tie it up here on Black Rook Hold. This was their map choice. It is Method Black versus Coffin Dance.
The main reason I like the Maledict is it's like a cooldown on its own. So normally as the Windwalker, you want to diffuse magic a combustion, but if you diffuse magic combustion, then when Maledict is up, you can't diffuse magic the Maledict back. And because there's 3 of them, and they're only using 1 per crowd control chain, you just eventually don't have an answer for it. So I love that Method Black are splitting it up. Every time they crowd control Lone Tar, 1 Maledict. Then Rezus probably survives with a cooldown, another crowd control, another Maledict. Maybe he trades another cooldown, and he just gets attritioned. It's like an extra 6 cooldowns or an extra 3 cooldowns for Method Black overall. They move in. They're not going to find a sap, so they're not going to have any surprise attacks here. That is an advantage to Coffin Dance. They're getting posted up. Lone Tar drops that healing stream totem a bit preemptively, anticipating an attack on himself as Waz still hasn't revealed his positioning. They did manage to protect him from being pulled out from stealth. So he's going to get that subterfuge opener. Where is he going to start the fight? He's still just chilling in stealth, waiting for his team to decide the call potentially on who's going to be the target. Trent's going to immediately begin the fight. Rezus moves over to Chaz. Chaz repositions Blinding Light. Trent the target early on. They're mixing it up here in game number 2, but Waz got paralyzed during the kidney shot. Even without Waz attacking, Trent is absolutely shredded by Raikou. He has to use Metamorphosis. He jumps back over to Waz for a swap to the Rogue. Both teams mixing up their strategies quite a lot in game 2.
Yeah, Waz looking for the cheap shot on Rezus, but Rezus was way too quick with the paralyze, shuts it down, and as a result, Trent really didn't have to trade out that much, just the reverse magic, and that opener was actually not that great for Method Black, as that was the combustion coming in from Raikou. Now another kidney shot here onto Trent. Are they going to be able to take him down? It looks like a preemptive Earthen Wall totem was dropped there by Lone Tar, and that is more than enough defense. And so far, Coffin Dance, they've been making great trades. This game is looking a lot better for them.
Swaps over to the Rogue here, potentially trying to punish a Gushing Wound selection from Waz. Trent's still at low health, though. Is he going to be able to recover this crowd control chain? Darkness gets dropped, but even Darkness has a % chance to die through. The Maledict is absorbing a lot of healing as well. He's not totally recovering. They stop the half polymorph with the paralyzed. Lone Tar's out of crowd control. Needs to bomb in a heal. Gonna activate that Spirit Walker's Grace to immune it. Good combo. Pick Trent back up into the fight, but in terms of who's the best target to kill, it seems like the Rogue might be their only option. They're going after him again. Raiku's built his character with full versatility, so he's going to be quite durable. Rogue swaps seem like a good answer so far, as they get Evasion and Gladiator's Medallion from Waz, but Lone Tar could get crowd control. He interrupts the Polymorph, but now Blinding Light. These Blinding Lights have been so devastating. They reverse it, but now a full Polymorph. Combustion gets popped. Is Trent just going to drop? He charges forward, lands the double, connects the Spirit Link with the Gladiator's Medallion. Coffin Dance survive another attack, but there's a full blind sitting in the back pocket. They might not even need it. They land a counterspell over onto Lone Tar, recovering for now, but when that, full blind. What are you going to do, Trent? They paralyze Waz. Trent needs to run for the hills, but Waz gets bopped out. Full polymorph out. Trent pops the Metamorphosis. If there's a Maledict here, Trent could fall. He trades Blur. He's looking durable. They've crowd controlled Waz very effectively during this moment, but the stuns have finally connected. Huge meteor. Pyros flying through the skies. Method Black push to match point. Dragon's Breathing Lone Tar on 10%. Can they finish him?
No way.
Unbelievable. They don't finish him. Coffin Dance stay alive.
Yo, Trent played that absolutely beautiful, using line of sight, using Blade Dance, Metamorphosis, keeping himself alive. Absolutely remarkable. Beautiful plays there by Rezus and Trent. I feel like any other Windwalker Demon Hunter would have been dead in that situation. It was a full blind into Hammer of Justice. Poly, just a remarkable crowd control from Method Black, but Coffin Dance was able to survive, and now they're looking to reverse it, but there's still a huge opportunity here. Full kidney shot on Trent once again. Here is the combustion. Blinding Light out onto Lone Tar is their follow-up. Waz is going to be looking for a sap. He finds the full sap. There is no way. The pre-blur, the Maledict, everything from Trent. There's no way. Can he actually survive once again? Hammer of Justice on Lone Tar. The crowd control is not ending. Trent leaps over. Waz, it cannot believe it. And it does look like Trent will inevitably fall. Coffin Dance, I mean, I have to say, they played that game defensively, I think, really well. Like, I thought that game went really well for Coffin Dance. Like, it's hard for it to go better in terms of rotating through your defensives and surviving setups. I just feel like Method Black, with the way they're playing, this is a really difficult matchup for Coffin Dance.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those guys were absolute live lords through that. We saw that Demon Hunter almost going down several times. Got Method Black managing to pull it off in the end there, Zico, but that was just tremendously well done by Coffin Dance.
Yeah, Tren, first of all, is a live lord. Like, this guy is insane.
Yeah.
That during that blind go, and he tried to blade dance the kidney, and he tried to meta the kidney, and he was dashing in and out. Even at the end there, he like YOLO dashed into the room and reversed Lontar out, almost survived there because of it, but wasn't able to. And I think the reason why he's not able to is because Method Black have so many good setups happening all the time. And the reason why that's happening is because Chaz is stacking full Ineffable Truth, and he's playing Blinding Light. And instead of having a Blinding Light every minute and a half, he has a Blinding Light like every 45 seconds. So he has a Blinding Light and a Hammer of Justice and a potential for a sap there as well. It's just so much crowd control, and it's so easy to set up. And yeah, I don't know what they can do about it.
All right, well,
Joe Fernandez. Fernandez.
You gotta bring in Joe.
okay, so hopefully we'll see him come out here. It is Coffin Dance's map choice here. Then, of course, Method Black will respond with their comp, looking to see if Coffin Dance is going to put on Joe Fernandez. Supatiz, you wanted to see them play him in that last game. Do you think that that would be their best option here on game number 3?
I don't know if it is their best, but that looks really difficult, even if they're playing like insane. It just seems not possible. At least when they bring the warrior's probably not the main target, so then Lontar doesn't need to worry about him so much. Whereas when Rezus is in the game, Lontar doesn't know, is Rezus going to get set up on, is Tren going to get set up on, and rotating your cooldowns becomes more difficult because you might overcommit some to Rezus and then they switch to Tren. But when you got the warrior in defensive stance, you're a little bit like, okay, I can lean on Joe to stabilize himself more, and then focus like Earthen Wall rotating with Blur on Tren without having to worry about it flipping back and forth. The Maledict is getting a lot of value. It seems really strong into the Demon Hunter and the Windwalker healing specifically. So Method Black utilizing that. I want to see the NA teams. Like, I want to see M2KC, like that Windwalker mage, try a Maledict strat too.
You sound very pleased, Zico.
Yeah, who would have thought that when you're playing into hybrids with self-healing and you play a setup-based comp, Maledict. Never would have imagined that would be the best trinket to go
Okay,
in.
did you guys see how quickly Method Black locked in that comp?
I think they're going to play that all tournament until something
That was like
stops it.
instant from Method Black locking in the Fire Mage Rogue once again in response to Coffin Dance's Tiger's Peak map choice. Now it's back to Coffin Dance to choose their map. And so let's say that Joe Fernandez does decide to hop onto that warrior here, Zico. What are the advantages we're going to see coming out of that class against Method Black potentially?
Well, I feel like Method Black right now, it's like when you're queuing on ladder and you go in and you one-shot someone in the opener and just leave the game and just insta-queue up again. That's where their head's at right now.
They're ready to go.
They're like, all right, queue up fast before they stop queuing, you know? It's kind of one of those. But
Here it is.
There it is.
okay, so we are going to see Joe here. So in addition to what Sid said, that, you know, Joe is not going to be a target in this matchup, Joe also will be providing a lot of disruption. So during these setups, in addition to basically forcing Method Black to go for Tren and Lontar for the most part, they will also have those war banners, intimidating shouts, things like that to help break up the CC chains and help Tren, for example, to survive some of these setups.
All right, well, we're seeing Coffin Dance switch up their comp here with Joe Fernandez on the warrior coming off of the bench in favor of Rezus, and now we're seeing Method Black, the same comp that we saw them play last game as well, having success here. Do we think that this is, though, I mean, was there really any reason, considering Method Black may have predicted this change up from Coffin Dance here, Supatiz, was there really any reason for them to switch off?
I don't think so. I mean, they've lost before as Mage Lock, and Mage Lock is arguably weaker to Warrior Demon Hunter now than before, so this just looks really good. I love the way that they're playing with Ineffable Truth, that blinding light from the Paladin. Normally you only have to worry about blind sap from the Rogue, but because Chaz running Blinding Light, it's like you have to worry about Blind Sap and Blinding Light Sap. So it's two situations that you just can't recover from, and then Maledict is mixing in with the cooldowns as well. The damage is much higher in Kidney Shot since the conflict change. I mean, overall, Method Black's Rogue Mage was already stellar. Now that it's in a position where it's not sort of being blocked by the versatility, I mean, they're going to tear people apart.
Ben?
I can't help but feel, I have a sneaking suspicion Method Black is going to be locking in Spite.
Yeah.
Now that there's no Windwalker Monk, there's no Ride the Wind threat, like, they can really abuse Spite in this matchup, and I think they're going to. I think Method Black is going to Spite, and Coffin Dance, they have to be prepared.
All right, well, Method Black.
I think we can cue up the flute.
What? No. No, you could.
I'm just staring, just waiting to see if they're actually running it. Ooh, it is! It's Spite! I knew it!
No Ride the Wind,
How
Spite
could I
time.
possibly predict it?
If they get a sap, oh, jumping right on top of them. Not going to be having a sap found today, but maybe a polymorph. Lontar runs away from it. Joe Stormbolts it. Great disruption right off the bat. Very important to stop the first sap of the game against a Spite Rogue Mage. They're going to Spite Joe Fernandez. He's got no heroic leap right now, but he could charge Raikou to get out of it. Is he going to be able to escape to safety? Activating that avatar, trying to get a little bit of a shield there. But Corruption is overloaded. Big Dressigath hit from Waz as he looks to close it out. Lingering Psychic Shell from Joe. Rolling back over to Lontar. They use Reverse Magic to remove the Blinding Light. Joe's going to recover the first Spite Assault and get back onto Raikou. They need to get some damage out during the downtime of that Spite.
No, there's no question about it. Stormbolt now into Waz. They're going to be continuing their assault onto Raikou. I can't help but feel, though, at some point, I mean, Lontar, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. If he gets caught into a blind and they're able to set up with Spites on him, I think he could just go down. Lontar actually just portals nowhere into a Kidney Shot. Super unfortunate there for Lontar. And keep in mind, he's got no Life Cocoon. He went with a preemptive Life Cocoon on Joe Fernandez. Joe obviously survived quite easily, but Method Black, they're looking to exploit that. They're going after Lontar, and this is just not ending. Waz, he's going to be sitting all over him. Meanwhile, Raikou's going to be babysitting Joe and Tren. So I think what needs to happen is we need to see a lot of pressure here on Waz. They can't just let Waz sit onto Lontar, and I think Coffin Dance has the appropriate response to the situation. Now Waz is forced to sort of retreat, and he can't just sit on top of Lontar.
Okay, full blind, and he's relentless. Kidney Shot on Joe. He got a shield active right before it, but the Gladiator Spites are down. Joe going to leap right out of those puddles. Does not want to play too long in the Corruption mud, but Lontar is still crowd controlled. Joe ducks around the corner and avoids Raikou throughout the crowd control. Good positioning by Joe Fernandez there. Looking for an intimidating shout and setting up for damage on Waz. Went for the Stormbolt, but doesn't look like it landed. Maybe on diminishing return? Waz getting back on target here. Joe just tunneled down endlessly. They don't want to go for on a Demon Hunter. They don't have the Gladiator's Maledict to absorb his healing, but I think it's a mistake. I think the Demon Hunter does go down in a stun. A bit surprised to not see them switch strategy here. They're going to go after Lontar. Big Dressigath drop over onto him, but he's running Conflict and Strife, so he's taking a lot less damage in a stun. He will survive it, but now needs to deal with interrupts potentially. Faking with the Soothing Mist, rolling around the corner, catching himself that Jade Statue as well, and he's going to survive a swap. Coffin Dance's defense looking solid so far. Waz gets stunned up. Tren chases down Raikou. They are running Mana Rift, so winning on mana on Chaz is an option for Coffin Dance, but that's a win condition that's still maybe 5 to 7 minutes away.
How do we want to see them set up Spite? I feel like there's if they can get a Polymorph on Lontar, I want to see Spite on Lontar, basically. Set up with Polymorph, set up with Blind, maybe if they can find it. I think Spite is available.
Oh.
It's a Blinding Light, but it broke. Super duper unfortunate. Waz was just attacking it. That was big miscommunication there by Method Black and a missed opportunity to use that Spite Trinket onto Lontar. Preemptive Fortifying Brew as well, but now might be the moment. It might just trade out Blind here in about 20 seconds, and Lontar, they're actually just going after Joe once again. Spite potentially overloading Joe, and we'll see. I mean, so far, he's just been able to get out of it. I mean, there is a thing from beyond, but definitely not getting max value out of that Trinket so far in this match.
They got his Rathion Cloak. If they can get his Trinket before Blind, and then Blind stun him with Spite, I think that's an option. I would like to see them do what you're saying, is either Blinding Light Lontar and Spite him, and then maybe poly him out of it too. They're just going to swap to him. Are they going to outright kill him? There's no darkness. 10% health. He gets the Life Cocoon. Survives the swap on match point, facing elimination here in the last cup of the AWC.
Chaz drinking.
Can they hold on? He's very far off the screen at the moment, so likely is. He's going to be going back to mana. You remember that mana rift strategy where like they could win 5 to 7 minutes doing that? Now it's probably 8 to 10 minutes if they want to win that way. This is going to be very difficult for Coffin Dance. They got the Gliders Medallion from Joe too, so a full blind spite is an option now.
Who are they going to go after? I mean, Lone Tar with no everyman for himself, he is really susceptible to an all-in. I could see Method Black doing it. If they just have to pull it off, they just need Lone Tar in any crowd control. The blind would work great. If they can polymorph out of it, they can blind out of it, or catch them in a stun. I think that's an opportunity for them to just outright win the game. But I think they're going to wait until Combustion's off cooldown. Waz now in a Stormbolt. And they're going after Joe. Full blind on Joe. Where is the crowd control on Lone Tar? There is no Life Cocoon. The Ring of Frost. Lone Tar doing everything he can. Hammer of Justice on Lone Tar. Joe is over-corrupted. The darkness drops down from Trent, and that might be enough for him to actually stay alive. He's spinning out, and it will be the lingering Psychic Shell, but he is not over it yet. He is still over-corrupted in this match. Lone Tar with the Life Cocoon is feeling confident to heal him, and that darkness paying dividends for Coffin Dance.
Good timing there. Despite the great crowd control into both Lone Tar and Joe, not enough to over-corrupt him. They're still buying time to generate pressure with that Mana Rift strategy. Raikou, 10 Portal Shields, a huge amount of damage there. Thing from Beyond is still spawning, even, 30 seconds after the fact. That's a little bit unlucky for Joe there. But Life Cocoon is going to be enough for him. Lone Tar used his Fort Brew to amplify his healing. He won't have that for himself. A swap to Lone Tar right now could be deadly.
Absolutely could be. I mean, he does no defensive cooldowns to work with. Every man for himself, still going to be on cooldown for a little bit of time. So if they could rot him down, they could find the damage with Combustion. I could easily see Lone Tar falling here, but if Trent and Joe can back him up, then he might be able to survive. Here's the kidney shot. Big damage. Combustion. They're looking for the all-in. Is there a follow-up? And it will be the commanding shout from Joe, maybe buying Lone Tar a little bit of time, but the Transcendence didn't really bring him anywhere. Waz is still all over him. Joe trying desperately to peel him up. Waz forced to run away right now. Cannot be messing around for too long onto Lone Tar, especially with Joe on his back. And Waz gets stunned. But beautiful backup by Raikou. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to net really too much. Maybe. They get the sacrifice, actually. This is big. Really good offense there by Coffin Dance. A bit surprising. I mean, Waz got stunned out of line of sight, but still they managed to get that sacrifice.
So Trent is running full Gushing Wounds, and they haven't attacked him once. I feel like that's a mistake. They're attacking Joe with full verse conflict. They're attacking Lone Tar with full verse conflict. I like the swaps to Waz. He's also running Gushing, I believe, so he's going to take a lot more damage than Raikou's running versatility. They're going to use the Blind Gladiator Spites onto Lone Tar. They need more crowd control. They get the Polymorph reverse magic. Lone Tar rolls out. Beautiful reverse magic timing there. They're still committed to it, but he pre-Fort Brews. I feel like there's no way Lone Tar dies here. They set that up so excellently. Lone Tar survives that. Waz now on the back foot as he is being pushed potentially into the dirt by Joe and Tren. Joe is definitely getting a chance to shine in this game. Would have liked to have seen him a game sooner, but I guess better late than never. Lone Tar still just being tunneled down. This next kidney shot, if he doesn't pre-Life Cocoon, could be the end of him. He tops himself off. Waz gets intercepted with the Storm Bolt, but Trent's polymorphed. He can't really help anybody at the moment. He can't land those mana rifts either. 16% dampening. Lone Tar dragging Waz into a really bad position, but Trent, man, he's 3 polymorphs and a Frost Nova. He is not having a good time over there in the far side of the map.
That was such a nice cocoon by Lone Tar. I mean, that was a very sneaky polymorph by Raikou, but Lone Tar read the situation, and it wasn't sneaky enough. Now Waz in some trouble. Blessing and Protection trades out. We need to see a spite go here by the team of Method Black. Who are they going to be able to spite? Divine Shield trades out from Chaz, and he is burning through his defense very, very quickly. Waz Shadow steps over onto Lone Tar, looking for an interrupt, unable to find it. Now a kidney shot onto Joe. Here are the spites once again. They need more crowd control. They need a cheap shot. They managed to find it. Joe getting over-corrupted here. Defensive stance. Big damage rolling in. It's going to be the die by the sword and basically all the defense of Coffin Dance to keep Joe alive in that situation. That was a nice push by Method Black, and we need to see them consistently do those pushes. Now Waz back to defaulting onto Lone Tar, keeping Raikou alive, and Raikou's just going to be looking to control Joe and Trent as much as he can, but, I mean, they're not making it easy. I love that they just go after Waz right away. As soon as he's on Lone Tar, Joe and Trent, they realize that this rogue cannot be allowed to do that, and they go after Waz, they really punish him, and Coffin Dance is setting this game up quite nicely.
Yeah, let's see if they can keep it going. That drink earlier definitely put Method Black back in the game. Coffin Dance need to stop those from happening. Chaz breaks out to dodge a Mana Rift. Very important that he does that as much as possible. Trent has been sitting so much crowd control, though. Finally able to get back on target here, going after Raikou. Waz looking like he wants to try and set something up. He gets stunned by Joe. Joe leaps back. They're not able to find a polymorph. Good disrupt, but they go for the kidney shot anyway onto Joe. Pre-life cocoon again. Excellent timing by Lontar. Certainly doing his best to keep his team's chances alive in this tournament. Still on match point. They have to reverse sweep reigning BlizzCon champions Method Black on what I would argue is their main composition, that Rogue Mage. Chaz crowd control. They get the cauterize. They're doing it. They're pushing for the ice block. Can they stay on target? They stun lock him, and they get the ice block. Coffin Dance are doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is why I wanted to see the Warrior. Joe is just so durable. He's got so much disruption, a lot of tools to deal with this Rogue Mage Paladin. Storm Bolt onto Waz. He trinkets and the evasion. Method Black has burned through basically all their defense, and they're going for an all-in here onto Joe. Can they actually take him down to full blind onto Lone Tar? They might be able to do it. Joe, he has to hold on just a little bit longer. The darkness trades out. Full sap now onto Lone Tar. Do they have any more damage? Joe leaps away, just trying to avoid it, but it will end up hitting him. The commanding shout does fall, and a pyroblast to the face. Method Black 3-0 Coffin Dance.
I was looking at pretty good there for Coffin Dance toward the middle.